one of the biggest hacks in business, the way to think about it is your mind is a driver and your body is the race car. And when you invest in sleep, food, training, going to the gym every day, all of this stuff, that's investing in the car. So you will perform 10 times better when, as a business owner, when you invest in the machine that is holding everything up.
Mina, welcome back.
Thank you.
We had you last year, I think,
Yes.
and the year before, so this is third time running.
Dude, I love it.
Just remind people what you're about, what you're up to right now.
My name is Mina Elias, aka the Egyptian Prescription. I am an Amazon
I
seller.
always forget that.
Yeah, that's who I am. I own Trivium Group, which is an Amazon advertising agency, and MMA Nutrition supplement brand, and we're scaling on Amazon. That's the goal.
Mina is making deals happen. Mina is I would say one of the most recognizable personalities in the Amazon space. He knows his stuff. Mina, I preface this conversation as getting the general pulse in e-commerce right now. A lot of people are asking just what's going on. You're one of the best people to speak to this. There are two sides to this. One are challenges, and one are the levers you're pulling to overcome those challenges. So let's just focus on challenges right now. What do you see? What are some of the biggest challenges that you yourself are running into, and that sellers in general that you're seeing are running into? So let's start there.
Yeah. Inventory management is a big one. I think inventory management is not like, ever since they kept shrinking and shrinking. Listen, you have to be a professional. You can't just send 6,000 units and you're selling 500 a month and be like, yeah, whatever. Like, Amazon's becoming very, very tight with how much inventory they let you send. So if you understand inventory management well, you have a 3PL, you send a bulk to the 3PL, and you have a good cadence on, as you sell through this inventory, you're sending more inventory to Amazon.
Yep.
That will solve it. That's been a challenge for a lot of people. Besides that, I think just inventory in general has been like supply chain has been a challenge for people. On Amazon, we're seeing a lot of favoring in terms of like building a brand and constantly improving. So PPC is one part of it. We're not seeing conversion rate optimization happen with a lot of sellers. And as we started to do more and more conversion rate optimization, it's had a huge impact, which means constantly looking on how to improve the main image, like showing the value proposition better, constantly looking at the rest of the images, identifying what are all of the objections in the listing that sellers have, that shoppers have, and overcoming that before. And it's not like, okay, I have a nice listing and let's leave it at that. It's like, I have a nice listing. What's one thing I can do to improve my click-through rate and conversion rate by 1% every single day for 365 days? That's where sellers need to be, and they're not there yet. And you know who's there?
Who's there?
D2C brands. Because D2C brands are driving traffic on Facebook, and where creative is burning quick, so you're constantly improving your headline and your creative so that you can improve that click-through rate. As soon as you hit the landing page, they're using Google Optimize to constantly split test different landing pages, move this up, move this down, see which one converts better. So they've got that dialed in, and Amazon shoppers haven't, because they're like, oh, this is just a shelf, so we're going to put our product on the shelf and we're going to let it sit. But it's becoming more and more competitive, which means you need to speak better and better to your customer. Like whoever your ideal customer is, you need to constantly improve how you communicate the value proposition to them.
What's realistically for sellers, what's a good way to do that? Like how are you supposed to, how should sellers, like everyday sellers, learn to do that?
Perfect. Click-through rate. The main factors that you can control: your main image, your title, your reviews and your star rating, your price, and if you're FBA or not, like you have fast shipping or not. So split testing your main image. You can take your main image, go to pickfood.com, productopinion.com, one of them, put your main image, your competitor's main images, say if you're in the market, you're buying flavored peanut butter, which one would you click on and why? And then have the people give you feedback, and they're like, oh, we'll click on that one because that looks like it's more tasty. I'm like, okay, now I need to make my product look tastier. You make a new image, you put the chocolates and this, and then you're like, oh my God, my mouth is watering looking at this, and you test it again, and now you're winning. So that is one thing that's going to help you with your click-through rate. You move on to price. You track your click-through rate, you track your conversion rate, you track your profits every day. You look at, okay, last 14 days, what's the CTR, CVR? Let's increase the price $1 or decrease the price $1, add a coupon, add a promotion. what's going to happen to my click-through rate, conversion rate, and my total profit. Sometimes lowering the price by $1 doesn't make an impact, and your profits go down. Sometimes lowering by $3 really improves conversion rate, and your total profit goes up. So those are a couple examples on the click-through rate side. Conversion rate side, it's the same thing. Rest of the images, adding different videos into the listing, questions on the listing. The bottom, you have like videos, you have Amazon posts. You know, you can showcase different things in the Amazon post to make sure that it speaks to the customer. Your A+ content. So there's a lot of different elements in the listing that you can improve. Track everything that you're doing. Be a scientist. Change one thing at a time. Look at click-through rate, conversion rate, total profit, and say, okay, let's try this test. Did I see an improvement in my total profit that's significant? How do you make sure it's significant? Look at your last 14 days, conversion rate, come up with an average and a standard deviation. You can do that in Excel. And then you just put, it's like 14 days of data equals average equals STDEV on Excel. And then take your average, add it to the standard deviation, that's your max. Do the same thing with the new 14 days of data and do your average standard deviation. And if that total is higher, then you're going somewhere. If not, then it's probably just noise.
I want to go in a little bit of a different direction here. You have a lot going on.
Yeah.
There are a lot of moving pieces in e-commerce and Amazon and Walmart. Like introduce multi-channel, things get more and more complicated. You seem to be the type of person that has a lot of systems integrated to make things scalable. I want to try and help people understand how to make things scalable. So I'm going to ask you a general broad question, answer with whatever comes to mind. How have you yourself established systems and processes within your own business to scale and grow? What do you think is really important for people to understand that's like really digestible to grow at scale?
Yeah, very, very good. So I think when you fail to the level of your systems. And the thing that I would start with is sit down with everyone in your company and say, give me all of the flows. I use Miro for this, Miro.com. I'm like, give me all of the flows that you have in your day-to-day. So for example, like, let's say, you know, my PPC team, they're like, okay, cool. We're doing keyword research. So, you know, the keyword research part on Amazon, we're launching new campaigns. So now I have a list of all of the flows, you know, daily updates, weekly updates, whatever. This is all of the, you know, flows that they're doing. And then I'm like, okay, cool. Daily updates. Give me a brief flow. And we draw it out. We're like, okay, I go into Amazon, I open Campaign Manager, I do this, you know, I'm taking that, putting it in a spreadsheet, writing things down, comparing it, send a screenshot. Cool. That's a flow. That's a reporting flow. We have all the flows written down. Now that I have all the flows written down, I can visually map out all of the things that need to happen in the business. Then I'm like, okay, cool. Let's document every standard operating procedure that needs to happen. It starts with the title of the standard operating procedure, why we have the standard operating procedure, and how to make sure that it's done right. Because a lot of times, like, we do the step-by-step stuff, but it's like, how do you know that you did this right? There's got to be some sort of check. Then we go into step-by-step. There's a video, obviously, and then you know, step, image with arrows, whatever. So it's like for visual, fast learners, they can go through it quickly. You've seen it. If you've Googled something, like they'll have like the step-by-step for you to follow.
And you have these for just about everything. Single,
everything. And so now, what I can do as a founder, or you know, what my head of ops can do, is they can go in, look at the flows, and be like, I'm noticing here that there is some choke points. We also started doing this exercise where everyone writes down their flows, and we were like, what's one thing that makes this take a little bit longer? What's one thing? So we're constantly documenting choke points. Half of the choke points was we're waiting on Mina. They're waiting on me for approval. I'm like, dude, get me out of everything. Stop needing my approval for stuff. So sometimes it's you as a CEO, as a founder, you need to let go. You need to say, okay, how can I develop like this grading criteria so that you can get 95% as good as me by having it, and you don't need me to be the bottleneck anymore.
I love that. I think a lot of people stop at just thinking they need to get those flows on paper, but the constant innovation, the constant looking back to see how those can be improved, game changer. One word to describe e-commerce. In 2023, today, what you got?
Wild.
Why? Why wild? Why wild?
Why is it wild, man? Because things are changing incredibly fast. It seems like we're going into a recession, but sales are going up, but next day the sales can go down, shipping prices can go up, can go down. So I think the best way to describe this is you're in an ocean and you don't know how the waves are coming. So you just better be a really good surfer.
Yeah.
That's all.
Ooh.
So instead of
that.
worrying about like mastering a wave, just master surfing.
Nice.
And be prepared. Whatever's gonna come, you're gonna handle.
I like that. Last question, I promise. What's the biggest habit that is positively impacting you and your business right now? Your biggest habit.
Man, I think it's investing in my health. So a lot of people see me, there's people that have been industry thought leaders, have come up and fizzled down. I invest so much money and time and energy into my health. My diet's on point. I don't eat carbs during the day because I know of the insulin spikes. I'm drinking a lot of water, having my electrolytes. I sleep 8 hours a day. I recover as hard as I work, and I'm able to work with a lot of intensity for extended periods of time.
Yep.
So I think one of the biggest hacks in business, the way to think about it is your mind is a driver and your body is the race car. And when you invest in sleep, food, training, going to the gym every day, all of this stuff, that's investing in the car.
Yep.
So you will perform 10 times better when, as a business owner, when you invest in the machine that is holding everything up. If you're always reading books and all this stuff, that's great. You're investing in the driver. But if you invest an equal amount of time in the machine, the body, you'll notice that you wake up, you're ready to go. You never feel burnout.
Yep.
None of this stuff, because it's a hack, man. You're just like, you're working with a much better engine.
Going back to the surfer analogy, to master the waves, to master yourself as a surfer, you have to have that sleep optimized, your health optimized. If you're going to be the best surfer of all time, you better have that stuff down.
Yeah.
How can people find you and connect with you?
How can people find me? My name is Mina Elias, Mina space Elias. LinkedIn, Instagram is @theMinaElias. Facebook is Mina Elias. But message me on Facebook, because it's going to go to my message request. I'm going to read it. If you just friend request me, I get 1 million a day, so it's not going to happen. Yep. Or email me, mina@triviumco.com. Happy to answer any questions.
Love it. Mina, thank you. Until next time, fourth time, we'll see it.
Let's do it.